So I was walking along the beach the other day, and I found some really cool shell formations.
Yeah.
There's one of them right behind
Shells
me.
and rocks. I like it. It's a good one.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. So I figured Comey can't be the only one walking along the beach. That's bullshit. I'm going to do a little walking myself. And lo and behold, I ran across some shell formations. So he wasn't wrong.
Yeah. Yeah, they're great.
Yeah, it's awesome.
And you can make words and numbers out of them.
Yeah, and then you can interpret it different ways. So we're going to talk about that in a little bit. But, we just want to wish everybody a happy, what is it today? Monday? A happy Monday.
Monday, yeah.
We're doing this on a Monday night because we have been so slam busy doing our normal jobs, working, that we finally got some time to do this. And we wanted to weigh in on this whole 8647 thing. I don't know if you guys have heard about it. I don't know if it's been on the news at all. But we're going to get into that, talk about that. So hang on and welcome to the Rude Barn Podcast. Let's do this.
Lunatic is on the grass. Lunatic is on the grass.
Rude, what's up, buddy? It's been a while. How you been?
Doing good. Hanging in there. This news is, the news cycle is just, it's kind of blowing my mind right now. So
cray.
I'm excited to dive into it a little bit.
Yeah, let's do that. But first, we want to thank our good old sponsors, the Rude Barn. If you go to our store, therudebarn.etsy.com, we got some merch we're going to sell there just to help get the show going. I don't want to get into it a whole lot, but go check it out, therudebarn.etsy.com. And we also want to thank our good buddies over at the Bearded Viking. A lot of mead, hooch, some good hooch.
A lot of hooch going out. There's going to be we're reloaded on the website here pretty soon,
Nice.
like within the next couple weeks. So you can start ordering out the site again. Other than that, check out the Hooch Finder and see where you can get our mead near you.
Near you. Awesome. Mm-hmm. Well, go check it out because that helps the show. So anyway, let's jump into this, buddy. You ever heard of this whole 8647 thing going on?
Yeah, I caught wind of it. An ocean wind.
An ocean wind. A little ocean breeze.
Yes.
Yeah, just blowing off, offshore. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, when I go walking along the beach and then I see a shell formation, what I need to do is I need to get my phone out of my pocket, focus it on the shells, take a picture of it, and then post it on Instagram, because that's what I do as a former FBI director.
Yeah, I would have. I wouldn't have done that if I was a former FBI director.
Yeah. So should we listen to what he said real quick about that?
Yeah, let's hear what he has to say.
Because I think you guys are going to be floored listening to this DB talking about this whole thing, because this is going to you're just going to shake your head. Are you effing kidding me?
We were walking on the beach. We went to the beach to prepare for this week, which was the launch of my book, and to think about the book and to prepare to answer questions about it. And we were walking back.
It was the launch of his book.
The launch of the book, yeah.
I wonder if it was...
It's fresh air, just kind of...
Should I try to get my name out there, maybe, so people can talk about me and then go get my book?
Yeah.
I don't know. Just a thought. Yeah, that's great.
Towards the road, and we saw in the sand someone had arranged shells with numbers. And Patrice, my wife, said, why would someone put an address in the sand? And I said, I don't know. And we stood over it, and I said, I think it's some kind of political message.
Isn't it weird how he automatically jumped to that conclusion?
That could be a political message.
Yeah, and his wife is like, why would they put an address in there? What makes you think it's an address, honey? And why would you jump to the conclusion, I think it's a political message? Oh, this doesn't seem suspicious at all, does it?
Yeah, the thing is he's not that smart to come to that conclusion.
No.
Like real time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like in the sperm of the moment.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Yeah.
She said, 86, when I was a server, she did a lot of work in restaurants, meant...
Oh, here he is explaining, mansplaining it to us now, what 86 is supposed to mean. I do have a couple dictionary and urban dictionary and slang dictionary definitions of it we'll check out here in a minute, so hang on.
To remove an item from the menu when you ran out of ingredients. And I said, well, to me, as a kid, it always meant to leave a place, to ditch a place. I said, that's really clever. So then she said,
Wait, so he's saying there's more than one definition for 86? Is that what he's saying? Because when I was a kid, we always thought of it as to ditch a place to get out of there. But in a restaurant, it was to get rid of something on the menu.
The only place I've heard it in is in bars. Is to just 86 somebody if they're being too rowdy or whatever, and then they may or may not get to come back. That's what that is.
So basically,
Get 'em out of there. Throw 'em out
there's
of
a couple different definitions for it, at least, right? Yeah.
Said you should take a picture of that, and I did. And I posted it on my Instagram.
I mean, he was so taken aback by this beautiful shell formation, the big beautiful shell formation, that he had to take a pic. Did you listen to that? I had to take a picture of it and post it on Instagram. Are you buying this stuff?
Well, do you think that, like, if he would have came to that conclusion and he
jumps to it more like
jumped to it, right off the bat, and thought that, oh, well, this might mean something political. Why wouldn't you just not put it on? Yeah, leave it alone, or kick it. Kick it, mess it up. You know what I mean? Destroy it. I don't think that it was in his best interest, obviously, to do something like this and post it, because then you put yourself behind it, and now who's going to believe that you actually just walked up on it? Because of the conclusion that you came up with was a political message. Don't you think that people are going to think that you're aligned with that political message? You putting it up on your Instagram because you had to, because it was so striking, I guess. This is the word. I don't know.
I mean, it meant a lot to him. I mean, it really tore at his heartstrings. So he had to take a picture of it and post it on Instagram. Yeah, no, this guy is such a sack of shit.
And thought nothing more of it until I heard through her that people were saying it was some sort of a call for assassination, which is crazy.
It's crazy. Well, here's the thing that's crazier is there actually was an assassination attempt on Trump. Well, his ear got nicked, if you remember, which was, of course, a setup. Of course, Trump set that up to, hey, make sure when you shoot me, you only nick my ear.
Yeah, just nick my ear.
Just nick my ear from 150 yards away.
Yeah, right.
But just right when I turn my head down.
That's so stupid. Like he literally contradicts himself, because he's like, well, I'm so smart that this might be a political message. And then he posts it. Then he hears that this is again a political message, and he's like, oh no, that can't be. Oh my gosh, yeah, it's terrible.
Oh, why did you post it at the beginning with it?
Why'd you post it at the beginning? Yeah,
LT, great.
But I took it down. I don't, even if I think it's crazy, I don't want to be associated with violence of any kind.
Do you hear him? I'm the FBI director. We deal with violence on a daily basis, but I don't want to be involved with any violence of any kind, anywhere, anytime, anyhow.
It's not like it was your job for
a decade almost, or whatever it was. 8 years, 6 years, whatever. It's like, this guy is so full of shit. He is such a piece of shit.
And then what happened?
I got a call from the Secret Service that night asking if I would speak to them about it. Of course. I admire the Secret Service. They're pros. I spoke to them on the phone. Then they asked the next day when I got home, would I be willing to come in and meet them in person at the Washington field office, which again, I did. And they were pros again. We were walking on.
And they were pros again.
They were pros again.
Thank God they were pros again. I mean, listen to the suck-uppedness, the brown nosing going on that he's trying to cover his AYS. Is that right? Ass. I mean, this guy is such a weasel worm. It is unbelievable. So let's just show you another post that he did, because he's such a saint. He puts this one up here. Kamala, however you want to pronounce it. I pronounce it Kamala. Her has made me feel like it's finally morning in America. this guy makes me want to hurl. Everyone who cares about the rule of law, of course, like he does, and America's indispensable role in the world should vote for Harrison Walls. I will. Okay, well, now you've just put up there what you are and who you are. And you thought this 8647, I'm sure you had no idea what it was.
Right.
Either you're the most incompetent, impotent, piece of crap, moronic idiot of a loser FBI director, or you're a lying sack of shit, and that's what I'm going with right there. Right?
Let's check this out. Let's see what his book.
Oh, I think I have a picture.
Is it 2025? James Comey for Drive? Is that what is that what it is? Yeah, I don't know what that means, but I'm sure.
Well, while you're looking at that, I'm just going to bring this up. It's like here's an interesting thing I just happened to look up. And I did hear it on another podcast, so it's not like I just want to. James Comey's net worth is estimated to be around $15 to $16 million as of this year, 2025. Primarily from his roles in law, corporate positions, and book deals. His income sources include a significant salary from his time as FBI director. 15 to 16 million. Really? I'm so glad these people are public servants.
Yeah, exactly. It sounds like he's really working for the public there.
Yeah. Oh, and there he is, taking another picture of himself with his book on the beach. Not a promo for his book sales at all, do you think?
Right, and it says like it confronts the deadly sect of political extremists.
You're looking at that.
Yeah, I don't know. So like that's
author of thrillers Central Park West, Westport, FDR Drive, which is coming out May 20th.
So
husband, father, pop, lawyer, teacher, speaker.
So this is a
tolerant, funnier in person. Oh, are you? This one I love. I posted earlier. This is why you're looking up that other stuff. I posted earlier a picture of some shells I saw today on a beach walk. Oh, okay. Which I assume were a political message. Of course you did, but that's why you posted it, because it was a political message that you had no idea what 86 meant in different scenarios. I didn't realize some folks associated those numbers with violence. You didn't? You had no idea?
Yeah, you had no idea.
It never occurred to him. But I oppose violence of any kind, so I took the post down.
This is like a crime novel thriller. Like this is not like a biography or anything like that. This is like a fiction. This
guy's a promotional machine. He's just working on trying to get his shit out there. I mean, it's just, and then you get this guy, Ed Krassenstein, and he has a brother, Brian, I think it is. Here are more details about how the Trump administration had the Secret Service show up at my home. Because this guy was just like, I literally just had the Secret Service. This guy's been pushing on this whole thing that, everybody's up in arms. 8647 doesn't mean to kill and all that. Well, that's one of the many definitions of it.
Well, at least, I mean, it's at least attribute itself to like an impeachment or something like that, and they got to admit that they hadn't been. I mean, they've been talking about it for since he won. Like they've been screaming impeach him. You know what I mean?
Well, impeaching him, and then remember the lawfare. How many different court cases were going against him that were all bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
And you people can argue all you want. Those of you who think that those were legitimate court cases, but none of them were. Or else he probably would have been convicted, right? And he wasn't. Oh, but he got off. It's like, okay, this was in a these were in New York courts and in other very liberal, heavy districts in Georgia and Florida, and he still got off on these because they weren't legit. Okay, so Donald Trump Jr. writes, just James Comey casually calling for my dad to be murdered. And this is who the Dem media worships. They're demented. There's the picture of it again.
Dear Cokie, though, that's pretty fucking funny.
Yeah. Dear Cokie. 8647 does not mean that people want their father murdered. 86 means to throw someone out of somewhere. Signed, people who aren't totally inept.
I mean,
well, art,
the Dear Cokie grabbed me, but at the same time, like, you know, I think that there was one
great picture of him on the beach, by the way.
Right before he found the shells.
Yeah, that was on his beach walk, apparently, right there.
And, you know, I wouldn't say that it's, you know, obviously going to the, like, they want him killed or assassinated or whatever. I think that that's not the extreme side. I think it was probably a message, an impeachment message, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
or something like that. And you know, and people are going to take it as far, you know,
however they want.
Really. You're right, exactly. Yeah. On one side, and then on the other side, they're going to try to completely dismiss it. But at the same time, you know, those silent messages are still messages, and I think that they at least like do this, you know what I mean? They bring up conversations, then they bring up a little bit of controversy, and I think I think that's what it was, the whole meaning of it. Whether Comey did it by himself or he really actually found it in the sand, I don't believe that first.
I don't believe he found that. I think he either made it or somebody made it for him so he can take a picture because he's walking around with some sort of security guard. Because I doubt he's, you know, just out there because, you know, people don't like him. He's a douche.
Yeah.
But I mean, here's other posts. 8647, 9/11, 808,647 days since 9/11, 2001, depending on whatever the day is that you wanted to post that.
Wow. Yeah.
So that's interesting. I mean, the coincidences are interesting that this happened to be, give or take a few days, right around 8,647 days. Does that mean anything? I think people are reaching at this point for something.
Yeah, I think that was a little bit of a reach.
Yeah, but here is a couple definitions. 86, and of course, like we talked about, cast aside, cast off, chuck, discard, reject, throw away, throw out, toss out, blah, 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 blah. Wikipedia comes in here. 86 or 86 is American English slang in the hospitality industry. It's used to indicate that an item is no longer available. Yeah, that item has been 86 from the menu, blah, blah, blah. We all get that whole thing. But here's the interesting thing. So now we have a couple different definitions. So, all right. So they have in the hospitality industry, like we said, the jargon. Okay, I used to have this down. Merriam-Webster. Okay, dictionary defines it to refuse something, or refuse, excuse me, something, or get rid of, throw out. Maybe this is time for the glasses, just to make sure we can read this okay. As a transitive verb, because there is a mob definition where you 86 someone, that means you kill them, you get rid of them, you know, no longer let them live.
Well, there it says it right there. According to Caselli's Dictionary of Slang, to 86 also means to kill, to murder, to execute.
So for anyone who says that it doesn't mean that, they are absolutely 100% incorrect. There are several definitions of this, and that certainly is one of them. Mm-hmm. So all you people who don't think that that could mean that, you're wrong. It could definitely mean that. And that's where you have, some people could take it the wrong way. Some people could take it literally in this terminology and say, you know what, I'm going to try to off him just like they did in Butler, Pennsylvania.
Well, you know, you have, I mean, the people that, you know, carry out these kind of things, they're mentally unstable anyway. So
yeah,
doing something like this and even putting it out there is maybe they think it's their trigger. Maybe they think it's their call sign to carry
their
out
green
something
light.
like this. Yeah, exactly. Because you know how, they'll sit back and just kind of look for signs. Well, this added up, this added up, this added up.
Oh, yeah,
So
that
now
was
it's
a sign,
now it's my time.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And
God is telling me that I have to kill somebody.
Right. Yeah. And
Yeah.
doesn't that just like beg to clap the the mentally ill out of the shadows,
Oh, yeah.
and to that's the thing that scares me about it. You know what I mean?
Well, and then for Comey to so flippantly just blow it up like, oh, well, I had no idea that this meant that. And I figured initially, absolutely right off the bat in 2 seconds, that I thought it was a political message. Well, knowing that and having been the director of the FBI, and I don't know, maybe you've done some profiling over the years as well, that you kind of know how certain people might react in certain situations given some sort of trigger, which this could be. So it is absolutely unbelievably irresponsible of him to do this.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. It was probably the most irresponsible thing he could have done, is taking a picture and put it on there, especially after he contradicted himself. Well, I didn't know it meant that.
Yes,
but you knew that it might be a political message.
Yeah.
How the hell did you put those 2 and 2 together if you didn't know that it could have been meant a different way? That's just dumb.
Yeah,
like you make yourself look like an ass.
That's why.
Yeah.
Excrement, guano, caca. He's full of poo-poo. Yeah, for sure. So, interestingly enough, I like to follow this guy, Viva Frei. If you haven't heard of him, he does a great job. He's a former litigating attorney up in Montreal, Ontario, somewhere like that. He's now living in Florida. And he calls out the bullshit that's going on. He's got a great podcast. If you go check it out, I'll put links to this and all these other ones on here for you. But listen to kind of a few things. We'll listen to a couple minutes what he has to say here, because it kind of goes over what we just did. But it's not just us. It's other people are also saying this stuff. So let's listen to what he has to say.
You remember when Gretchen Whitmer did that Meet the Press interview, and in the backdrop, sleuths noted that there was 86-45 in the backdrop. Gretchen Whitmer in the backdrop of her interview had 86-45. Let me just pull up a picture here. You got to see it because it might refresh your memory. What amazes me is there's people who don't remember this. Right there.
I don't.
Gretchen Whitmer did a Meet the Press thing, and this is like, it looks like a whack. I don't even know what it is, because how do you get something that looks like that? It looks like it was either 2 candles, like 86 and 45, or they had something made. 86-45 in the backdrop. This was in 2020. And the internet went mad at the time because people rightly, astutely observed that 86 is, if you operate in the diner industry, it's mix it from the menu. If you operate in the clubbing industry, it's kick out the client. If you operate in the mob industry, it means 8 miles out, 6 feet deep, or to kill somebody. Period.
Mm-hmm.
Go to look it up on Urban Dictionary. At the time, if I recall correctly, it resulted in something of an edit war on Wikipedia, where Wikipedia, from what I recall, but I don't know if I can believe my recollections of the time, were stealth editing the definition of 86 in that context off of the website, so that when people looked it up, it would no longer say 86 means to kill somebody, mob slang. It has always been that for decades.
I believe that has happened. Whether it happened in this case, I don't know, but I'm pretty sure I believe places and sites like Wikipedia do that. Oh, just like changing the definition of vaccine.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So I totally believe this. Yeah.
Whether or not it has another use, which I'm sure it does.
It has several.
So we had this discussion when Gretchen Whitmer put up 86-45. Some people were defending her, saying, no, it doesn't mean that. It just means to nix from the menu because it's an election and we want to nix them from the menu. But we had that discussion. Some people are too young to remember it. Some people weren't paying attention back then because it's already 5 years ago. But we had that discussion.
Because we're dumb.
James Comey is not young enough to have not been part of that discussion. He's not young enough to have not been aware of that discussion at the time when it happened. So James Comey puts out this tweet, this Instagram post, and then it starts receiving some backlash. Don Jr. puts out, just a tweet that says, just the former head of the FBI casually calling for people to murder my father. James Comey. Then, by the way, I got to highlight the Krassenstein brothers' replies to this. The Krassenstein brothers. At one point, you might have given them the benefit of the doubt. There's no more benefit of the doubt. These kids are rapacious pieces of shit. Period. Like I was inclined to give them the benefit of the doubt. Maybe people give them a bit of a hard time. Maybe they're not paid chills. Maybe they're whatever. In the wake of it, they take to Twitter and, hey, look, it's forever. Krassenstein, Brian, one of the two twin brothers, puts out 8647 him now. This is what needs to happen. Trump's cabinet members need to immediately conspire together behind his back to 8647 him. They need to come up with a foolproof plan to make sure that their plot is a solid one and work together in a way that will save America. I stopped screen grabbing after that.
Do you ever notice how detailed out in the open in the public the people on the left are in their threats and their descriptions of what they want to do to people they oppose?
Oh yeah.
Now, I'm not saying it doesn't happen the other way around where people on the right are doing that to people on the left, but I don't nearly see it as hardly ever as much as this direction.
Well, and they always get a pass for it.
Right.
Nobody gets in trouble. Why? I don't understand, why they can do this just kind of out in the open all the time about everything.
Because they have impunity, because they have the media behind them, they have their government overlords behind them, because they oppose this as well, and so they get away with it. I mean, look what happened with the riots, and it's mostly peaceful protests while the freaking city is burning down behind them and all that shit. And it's just the gaslighting and the cover-ups and the blowing it off as in no big deal. And why would you conservatives and Republicans get so upset? You MAGA people, you MAGA maggots.
Yeah.
Why are you doing this? Why are you so upset? And I can't believe that you're so upset that 8640, it doesn't mean anything. They cover this shit up all the time like this.
Same thing with the Tesla stuff. You know what I mean? They literally called for violence and
burning people's personal Teslas.
Yeah, and but it was justified,
right?
How?
Because of evil Elon. Yeah.
Then Ed Krassenstein puts out a tweet and says, "It's time." 8647. Then Ed Krassenstein puts out, in response to his own tweet, James Comey is right. Talk about the flipping idiots hearing the dog whistle of their master. James Comey is right. 8647 is the way to go. It should become the new rallying cry for Americans who are sick and tired of the U.S. Constitution being torn up.
How ironic is that? Because they're the ones usually tearing up the Constitution, trying to take our freedom of speech away. Twitter and YouTube and other platforms, Washington Post, when it came to the vaccines, when it came to anything that opposed anybody on the left, Biden, how many times did they ever do? Now you've seen all the stuff we're going against Biden, how they covered up Biden's dementia and his potential cancer that we're going to talk about in the next podcast we're going to do. So yeah, they cover this shit up all the time.
It should be a rallying call for Americans who are fed up with their current administration's corruption. The right wants it to be some nefarious symbol, just they wanted Abrego Garcia's tattoo to be. They want to demonize anyone who thinks Trump is toxic for this country.
He should edit his post before he puts it up there, because it's hard to read.
Yeah.
Right. It's like, edit your post there, Tiger, but I know you're knee-jerk reactioning to all of this.
8647 equals get Trump out of office. It has nothing to do with violence.
Bullshit. It can and probably will and has before. Not necessarily the 8647, but like we said, a couple assassination attempts on Trump's life. Jerkholes.
Well, indeed, that's just trying to CYA there. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah. It doesn't mean anything to do with violence. Sure. Oh, okay.
Cope. Yeah. Oh, really? 86 definition.
See, here's some more, just to kind of cover what I just did.
Eject someone from a bar. Reject or discard. Let me see where the Merriam-Webster Let's see what they do here. Slang term comes from a wide variety of sources. The military, the newsroom, and the arts have all provided to be exceptionally fertile grounds for the creation of new words. Yada yada yada. At the launch counter, first appearing in the early 1930s, referred to a soda fountain or lunch counter that had been sold out. Shift to verb uses in the 1950s. The verb underwent a functional shift and began being used as a verb. The initial meaning as a verb was to refuse to serve a customer, later slightly extended meaning to get rid of or throw out. The word was immediately yada, yada, yada. Now we're going to get to the, what is 86? It should be noted that despite the fanciful story given above, the etymology of 86 is unclear. Yada, yada. Now we're going to get this one here. Here, among the most recent senses adopted is a logical extension of the previous ones with the meaning of to kill. We do not enter this sense due to its relative recency and sparseness of use. This is when you know that you can no longer even trust the Merriam-Webster dictionary.
And he goes on. I mean, I'll leave the whole link in there so you can watch all that. But for all of you people who don't think that it means violence at all, you may be right. But most likely you're wrong, because it does mean that as well. And like we said, I think people are going to take that and run with it. So anyway, it's one of these things where this whole thing is very irresponsible of him to do, and he knows it. He knows exactly what he was doing. Now he's covering his ass. I'll post some of these interviews and other things like that of him on MSNBC and stuff like that in full. And you can just kind of see what's going on with him. But, you know, we'll kind of end this with a couple more things. I've got some other shell formations that we ran across that I think we're going to like, and then we'll end this video because shell formations are really cool. If you haven't seen any, let me bring some up for you. Here's some that we ran across. Arrest Comey. That was a good shell formation right there. FAFO. And then, why isn't it James Comey in jail yet? 8675309. These are really cool shell formations. Are these not coming up? Oh, dang it.
No, they're not showing.
Let me go back to the first one, which is right there. Arrest Comey. Let me bring it up. I forgot to hit the wrong. Dang it. This is what happens when I try to do this. Okay. Arrest Comey. Here it is. Oh. FAFO.
That's a good one.
I know. Why isn't James Comey in jail yet? It's a really good shell formation. 867-5309. That used to be my old phone number. Yeah. Joe Biden was never in charge. About right. Comey sits while he pees. These are some good ones. I mean, these are great. This is why I took pictures of these. Michelle has a dong. Somebody really has it out from Big Mike.
Yeah.
James Comey is a giant homo. Oh, here's one. 86 Comey. I love it. Don't drop the soap, Comey. And then the final two, bring back endless shrimp. And then finally, drink a beer.
Drink a beer.
Which is what we need to do. Oh my gosh. So people, yeah, we're just having fun with this. But yeah, this whole thing with James Comey, and it's going to get worse. And it's like Johnny Depp and Madonna and what's her name? The redhead.
The pooper.
Yeah, the pooper. Who held up the severed head effigy of Trump. It's like you people have threatened the president, but nothing has happened to you. And now you're doing it again. And if James Comey doesn't have some sort of punishment beyond a slap on the wrist for this, I mean, this is a crime. And if this were to happen, but Trump threatened Biden, or everybody threatened, okay, I agree. Anytime you threaten a president, whether it's Biden, Obama, Trump, Bush, etc., that is a crime, and you should be punished for it. You cannot threaten the president's life or anybody else's life, for that matter.
Well, and like you said, like I don't know why they just do this stuff freely, and then they get immunity over it, and nobody's served with anything but a slap on the hands. It's frustrating, to say the least.
Oh yeah. and I don't condone it. I don't agree with this, and I think that he knew exactly what was going on. He knows exactly what he was doing to come to these conclusions. I mean, you listen to the interview on MSNBC, and you're like, well, my wife thought it was an address. And I said, well, it looks like a political message to me. I mean, just pole vaulted to that conclusion.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
I mean, well, of course it's a political message. Why would you think anything? He's a very huge, immense partisan hack who has had it out for Trump. I think Trump fired him, didn't he?
Yeah.
Right when he came in the office. But
yeah.
he's got to burr up his ass to get Trump.
Chip on his shoulder.
Yeah, a little
and
chip
I think,
on his shoulder.
And I think that's probably, a lot of what this is. But I don't even condone it on the other side as well.
Exactly. That's what I was mentioning.
I wasn't, I wasn't condoning anybody that was saying anything like that about Biden while he was in. I mean, obviously,
I just wanted him to leave, but I didn't.
We didn't like the cover up.
To happen to him.
Yeah, exactly. We weren't calling for death to Biden or anything like that.
Yeah.
It was just like but you see how childish
the
they
left
go.
seems to be more
Yes.
right, and not that there's not people on the right who are freaking morons and idiots doing the same thing, and they need to stop, take the high road here. But you're right, dude. When you say we can't be threatening either side, it's like, I don't remember death threats like this to this degree and level, and media coverage of a death threat to Biden. There may have been that you never heard of, but I doubt it very much, or they were so low level, or just some whack job, saying shit. But this is just, I mean, you got the the twins, you got these guys, you got everybody, you got the assassination attempts, you got the lawfare, you got Letitia James, you got Alvin Bragg, you got all these people going. I mean, it's one thing after another, after another, after another, to really take this guy out, one way or the other, all the way to literally killing the man.
Yeah.
And it's just, this shit's got to stop.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got to stop. Well, anyway, we're going to move on, do the next podcast. We thank you for joining the Rude Barn podcast. Please check out the rudebarn.etsy.com. Check out our store. And we, and our buddies at Bearded Viking, beardedviking.com. And then we'll be back talking about the whole Biden cancer thing next. So please check that out. And we thanks you for joining us.
Thanks you.
So thanks a lot, everybody, for joining. We'll see you on the next one.
Question everything, gang.
Lunatic is on the grass.